What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Diablo Immortal video. Today I'm taking it back to the basics in this beginner guide regarding farming inside of Diablo Immortal. As you can see, we're doing our farming in the Southern Dreadlands, but when I started farming tonight, someone had joined our party just under 100 Paragon and said, oh, so this is what farming is inside of the game. Someone that had reached just about 100 Paragon inside of the game did not know what farming was, the benefits of farming, and had just never done it themselves. So I figured it was probably important for me to take a minute and break down what farming is for all of the new players, because honestly, it's really a very important part of Diablo Immortal and a big part of the game. Now, I'm going to pause this gameplay. Notice we are playing through our phone. I was on my couch doing a little bit of gameplay while watching TV, and we were farming. I do all of it from my phone. As you can see over here, we have a bunch of gear that we've accumulated. Of course, you're going to be getting yourself a bunch of gear, most of which you will just salvage and utilize to upgrade your equipment. Why do we farm inside of the game? To upgrade our class, to upgrade our build, and to progress our build in one way or another, whether it's because of experience or because we need items such as you can see on the screen, Monstrous Essence, the orange globe. You get 40 battle point turn in when you turn in 10 of those. You can do that 3 times per day to get that battle pass point progression. What that does for you is it not only helps you and assists you in progressing your battle pass, but it's also going to give you good experience so that you could progress your account and your XP bar on the bottom of the screen as well. That's something that I love and really make essential to farm every day inside of the game for myself. In addition to that, you're going to be able to find some other things as well. If we take a pause right here, notice you're able to get the gear as well. Actually, I think I'm going to be able to give you a little pause on it so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. These scrap materials it is that I'm talking about. These scrap materials that you see above are a massive part of what upgrades your gear. Upgrading your gear is going to make you stronger inside of the game, and if you're somewhere stuck and you just aren't able to progress any further, of course you could look at your gear that you're wearing, you could look at your gems, but you could also look at the level of your gear slots as well. And maybe I'm going to show it to you in a second. I'm not sure what I actually recorded here. There we go, a good look. Notice all of my gear right here, we're at level 26. Some of them are at level 21 or 22. As you progress your pieces of gear, both your primary pieces of gear and your secondary pieces of gear, it allows you to get stronger inside of the game, which is essentially allowing you to progress further and further. And then you have gems. When you farm in a party of 4, you can get gems that drop. Now, you can utilize these gems to upgrade your gems inside of your secondary gem slots. It's a great way to gain more power and to further build out your build. Or when you're farming in a party of 4, you'll actually have gems drop that are sellable in the market. Now, right now inside of the market in my server, it's pretty quiet. There's not good values, so it's really probably not worth selling. But if you're really dying to get some free platinum, you could sell the gems that you farm with your party. As you can see up in the top, I'm partied with 3 other people. A party of 4 is going to allow me, 1, to get more experience because of kill streaks that we have, and 2, it's going to allow me to get those gem drops as well. Now, there are 2 types of farming. You have circle farming, where you are running around in circles over and over again with your party, taking down enemies. And then there's lazy farming. Lazy farming is when you stand still in one spot for a couple of minutes, you hit your skills and you kill things around you, and then you go clean everything up. What you just saw me doing a moment ago while I was doing some recording was I was doing some lazy farming. I was hanging out in the corner. What I'm doing right now is essentially circle farming. What you'll do with your teammates is you will all run around in a circle together, killing everything along the way, getting yourself legendary pieces of gear, which is actually quite nice because that gear, whether you need it or not, is going to help you get the essences that you want or the things that you need so that you can upgrade those legendary pieces of gear yourself. As you can see right here, we're taking a look at a little piece of gear that we're wearing right there, checking out what type of stuff we have as well. Notice we are okay with the gear. Now, a lot of people will farm once they have their essences in a lower hell difficulty than they should be in. We actually play in Inferno 1 at this point in time, but because people were already farming in Inferno 1 in the spot where we like to farm, we drop down to Hell 3. Makes the enemies very easy to take down, but you still get essences, and you still get gear and scrap materials and monstrous essence and everything that you could want, and gems from farming even a lower difficulty. Now, Server Paragon, experience, XP, and just your overall account experience. As you can see, I'm Paragon 340. That means I'm 340 above the max level inside of the game, which really the max level is the beginning stage of the game, if we're being honest. Now, because I'm 345 and the Server Paragon level is 340, that's saying that I am 5 levels above the Paragon level. When you're at Paragon level at 340 right now, I would be getting 100% XP rewards, but as you can see, I'm only getting 50%. This is because I'm 5 levels above the Paragon level, which means it takes me twice as long to level up as it would if I were at level 340. If you're at level 150, you're going to be getting something along the lines of 16 times the experience. So you'd be getting 1,600 experience, and I have not been down there, I don't think ever, that far behind inside of the game, so it's hard for me to say exactly, but I believe that is the number. You definitely are given a catch-up mechanic, so you can catch up with people that have been playing for a longer amount of time. And the further you get above the Server Paragon level, well, then the less and less your XP rewards are going to be, making it more and more difficult for you to level up. But you could still get all the materials that you need so you could level up your gear, the scrap materials, the legendary essences, and the gems that we're trying to pick up every single day as well. Also, take note that every Monday, our Server Paragon jumps an additional 10 levels. So on Monday from now, it's going to then jump to 350. So that's how the Server Paragon mechanic works. But I often will see people maybe running Heliquary. They're just struggling. They're having a hard time. It's because their gear is not up to level. Their secondary gear may only be sitting at very low levels. And remember, you have to run challenge rifts to get the materials you need so you could progress that gear up. Or their gear could just not really be upgraded properly. You really need to spend the time farming inside of the game so that you could push the higher levels of different events that come, especially if you want to do it in a party and not always have to be carried by people. We obviously have hard carries, people inside of the servers that are there to help some of the lower level people, but it really doesn't feel great to always be a lower level person now, does it? Now, familiars are a big part of farming as well, and it's not because of the familiar itself, although all familiars or all pets now will pick up things behind you a lot more quickly. So you can do that circle farming and you'll pick up a lot of, if not the majority or all of the materials that drop behind you. And if you miss them when you loop around the second time, you'll pick them up. But whenever your bag gets full, you have to turn everything in, and that can get annoying having to go back to the blacksmith all the time. So it is very nice when you have Salvager as one of the traits on one of your familiars. It can be a bonded familiar. It doesn't need to be your companion, which is the main familiar that runs with you. The bonded familiars, you can get these traits to be active just because you bonded them with you. So for me, I have all of them. I have Salvager, which allows me to do remote salvaging wherever I am, which is actually quite nice. We have the Armory one so that we can actually change our loadout, which I use probably the least. And of course, we have Appraiser, which allows me to remote identify any of my legendary gear or my legendary secondary gear. This one is probably the second most important. The Armory is the third most important. But the remote salvage is extremely important, allowing you to not have to always run back and go collect things or take things to the blacksmith just so you can get enough. I think that one of the most important things that people forget about doing inside of the game is farming. It can become repetitive. It can get a little bit boring. But you know what? It feels good when you could progress your account. And it's also a great time for you to be able to be social with friends and talk, get on Discord and chat over voice, or even type some messages right over here and just being part of the Diablo Immortal community, grinding your stuff there together. Notice we have 9 out of 10 Monstrous Essence right now, so that's a nice point. What I try and do every day is get my 3 turn-ins at least. There will be days where I get 10 to 15 turn-ins. You don't get the battle pass progression after those first 3, but you do get a good amount of experience and you do get more rewards that progress your account, and of course you're always picking up the scrap. So what I'll typically do is, and I've done it tonight, I'll do my 3 turn-ins of Monstrous Essence, and then I will farm up another 10 pieces of Monstrous Essence that I will just hold into the morning, and one of the first things I do the next morning is turn it in when I have another 3 that can be collected. Because 7 days a week, I can't always farm, and I'm not always able to attain the Monstrous Essence that I need. As you can see, we just got it right now. We got our 3rd batch of 10 Monstrous Essence, so we're just going to teleport over. It's actually right above in this zone. We're going to go to the bestiary, the Heraldric Altar. We're going to turn it in. A lot of times you'll get a legendary piece of gear, as I just did right now. While here, you can hit up the identifier if you want to. You can get rid of any essences that you have that you don't need. As you can see, nothing that I have right now is good. Remember, we were on health 3, so I was not getting gear that was strong enough for me to even use. And then we could even go over here, get rid of everything in our bag, have an empty satchel, and continue out the farm. Yes, or I should say no, it's not an activity inside of the game that is glorious. But for me, I enjoy doing it, 1, for the community element, and 2, because I really do like building out my class. So, are you a lazy farmer where you just stand in a corner and you kind of hit your skills now and then? Or are you a circle farmer, someone that's going to run circles with friends? I suggest you don't stand still for too long. It's kind of frowned upon inside of the community, also to take up farming spots from others if you're just standing there. Probably not the best etiquette. What you're seeing me do right now is a great example of lazy farming, just standing there, hitting my skills, waiting for everything to die. But that's how you farm. Make sure you're getting it done inside of the game. For all of you that are veteran players, I appreciate you supporting the video, making it until the end, even though you already know this information. But remember, we do need to support the brand new players as well. After all, they are the incomers that are going to be playing this game alongside of us in years to come.